Amari Sade's phone buzzes at 2:47 p.m. She already knows who it is. 8 p.m. tonight. Your building. Don't make me wait. Park Minjai, her landlord. The man whose hand stayed on her wrist 3 seconds too long last time they spoke. She deletes the message without responding. Her fingers shake. Around her, the Itaewon Café hums with afternoon chaos. Espresso machines screaming. Students laughing into their phones. The relentless buzz of soul life that never notices when someone's drowning in plain sight. The bell above the door rings. Amari looks up. A man walks in who doesn't belong. Before we continue, besties, please tap the like button and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support this channel and help these powerful stories keep coming. We share new, emotionally gripping stories every single day, just for you. And don't forget to drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. I'd love to see how far this beautiful story of love and destiny has traveled. Not because of how he looks, black coat, faded jeans, baseball cap pulled low, but because of how he moves. His eyes sweep the room like a threat assessment. Every exit, every window, every person cataloged and dismissed before he chooses the farthest corner table. The one near the emergency door. The one people pick when they need an escape. Amari grabs a menu and approaches, but something makes her chest tighten. The man's shoulders lock the moment she gets close. His hands flatten against the table, palms down, like he's bracing for impact. "Hello, welcome," she says in Korean, her American accent soft but unmistakable. "What can I get you?" He doesn't look up. "Americano. No sugar." His voice is quiet, controlled. The kind that comes from years of keeping rage on a leash. She nods and walks away, but the recognition won't leave her alone. She knows that posture, that careful stillness. She wears it herself every time Minjai's name lights up her screen. The espresso machine roars. Hot water crashes over dark grounds. The bitter smell burns her nose as she works. Her phone buzzes again in her apron pocket. She doesn't look. When she returns to his table, the man hasn't moved. Not an inch. She sets the cup down gently, her fingers careful not to make noise. "Thank you," he says to the table. Amari should walk away. She has 5 other tables waiting. Tips to earn. Rent she can't pay. A landlord whose texts feel like hands around her throat, but she stays 1 extra second. Their eyes meet, and something passes between them that has no name. 2 people recognizing the same wound in different skin. The moment breaks. She walks back to the counter. Minutes pass. The rain starts, soft taps that grow into fists pounding glass. The cafe empties as people flee for subway stations. Students pack laptops. Office workers grab coats. The man in the corner doesn't move. His coffee sits untouched. Steam rises, then dies. The liquid goes cold while he stares at nothing or everything, or something only he can see. Amari watches from behind the counter, wiping down surfaces that don't need cleaning. Her phone buzzes. "I'm being generous tonight. 8 p.m. We'll talk about flexible payment options." Her stomach drops. She deletes it. Flexible payment options. She knows what that means. The cafe closes at 7. 1 hour before Minjai shows up at her building. 1 hour before she has to decide between her dignity and her visa. She doesn't know it yet, but the man in the corner is named Kang Do-hyun. Seoul used to whisper his name in back alleys and loan offices. He disappeared 3 years ago. Became invisible. A warehouse worker who kept his head down and his knuckles clean. But tonight, when Amari walks into the rain, he's going to follow her, and the thing he's been running from is going to catch them both. 300,000 won. That's how much Amari Sade is short on rent. That's also the exact amount Park Minjai says he'll forget about if she's flexible with payment terms. She counts coins in the break room, metal cold against her fingertips. 43,000 won in tips. Rent is due in 2 days. Her visa expires in 23 days. Her landlord is coming tonight. The numbers don't add up. They never do. Amari hadn't planned to stay in Korea this long. She'd come from Atlanta 3 years ago on a teaching contract. Running from grief after her father's stroke took him mid-shift at the mechanic shop, his hands still black with engine grease. Korea promised distance, structure, a chance to breathe. Instead, she got layoffs. Her school cut foreign staff 6 months ago. Budget crisis. Nothing personal. Her visa hung by a thread while she scrambled for sponsorship. The cafe became her lifeline. 10-hour shifts, minimum wage, customers who sometimes treated her like furniture. Some whisper when she walks past. Some turn their bodies slightly away, like proximity might be contagious. Others stare. Too long, touching her braids without asking, calling her exotic, like it's a compliment. Amari endures because Rent doesn't care about microaggressions, and Minjai doesn't care about anything except what he wants. Her phone buzzes. She doesn't need to look. She already knows what it says. More threats dressed up as suggestions, more reminders that she's vulnerable, foreign, running out of time and options. Last month, he showed up drunk at 1 a.m. "You're too beautiful to be struggling like this," he'd said, his shoulder wedged against her doorframe, blocking her from closing it. His eyes traveled down her body, slow and deliberate. "I could make things easier, if you're smart about it." His hand reached for her face. She'd shoved the door hard enough to catch his fingers. He'd yelped, cursed, stumbled backward. The next day, he raised her rent 50,000 won. Called it a property maintenance fee. Now, standing in the break room with its flickering fluorescent light and fake lemon soap, Amari stares at her reflection in the spotted mirror. Dark circles under her eyes. Braids pulled back so tight her scalp aches. The same black polo she's worn 3 shifts in a row because laundromats cost money she doesn't have. She looks like her father did the week before the stroke. Exhausted, scared, running out of options. Her hands grip the sink edge. The porcelain is cold, real, the only solid thing in a world that keeps shifting under her feet. The door opens. Her manager sticks his head in. "Table 4 needs service. And that corner guy? 2 hours, 1 coffee. Tell him to order food or leave." Amari nods, dries her hands, and walks back onto the floor. The man is still there. His untouched coffee sits between his hands like evidence of something broken. He's staring at the rain-streaked window, his reflection ghost-like in the glass. She approaches. "Sir, can I get you anything else?" He looks up. His eyes are dark, hollow, haunted by things she can't name but recognizes anyway. "I'm fine," he says. He's lying. She knows because she tells the same lie every single day. Outside, the rain hammers harder. Her phone buzzes, and somewhere in Seoul, Park Minjai locks his apartment and starts walking toward her building. Do-Yun returns on the 3rd day. Same table, same order, same untouched coffee growing cold between his hands. Amari watches from behind the counter, drying espresso cups that don't need drying. He's been here 3 days straight now. 3 days of sitting like a statue while the world moves around him. 3 days of ordering something he never drinks. Today, she decides to break the rules. She crosses the cafe floor during the afternoon lull when the lunch rush has faded and the university students haven't arrived yet. Her manager is in the back office. The other waitress is on her phone. Amari sits down across from Do-Hyun. He stiffens immediately. His eyes snap to hers, sharp and defensive. "Employees aren't supposed to sit with customers," he says. "True." She doesn't move. "But you look like you need company more than rules." Silence stretches between them. Outside, a bus hisses to a stop. Someone's phone rings 3 tables over. The espresso machine whines. Do-Hyun studies her face like he's trying to solve an equation. "You're not Korean." Shocking observation. A small smile touches her lips. "American, Atlanta. Came here for work, stayed for survival." Something flickers in his eyes. Survival. Yes. She leans back slightly. It's a full-time job. He doesn't respond, but his shoulders drop half an inch. The defensive wall cracks just enough for her to see what's underneath. Exhaustion. The kind that lives in bones. You never drink it, she says, nodding at the cold coffee. 3 days, same order, never touched. I know. So why keep ordering? The question hangs in the air. A motorcycle roars past outside. Someone drops a plate in the kitchen. The world keeps spinning while Do-hyun decides whether to answer. It gives me a reason to stay, he finally says. People don't question someone with a cup in front of them. Amari understands immediately, hiding in plain sight, using the ordinary to become invisible. She's done it herself, staying busy at work so no one asks about her visa, her rent, the bruise-colored circles under her eyes. What are you hiding from? She asks quietly. Everything. The word comes out like a confession. What about you? A landlord who thinks my rent comes with options I didn't agree to. Do-hyun's jaw tightens. He's threatened you. It's not a question. Threatened is a soft word for it, Amari says, but I'm handling it. Are you? The directness catches her off guard. She opens her mouth to lie, to say she's fine, to perform the strength she doesn't feel, but something in his eyes stops her. No, she admits. I'm not. The honesty sits between them like a third person at the table. Do-hyun's hands flatten against the wood. When does he come? Tonight, 8 p.m. Don't go. I have to. It's my apartment. My visa. Your life, Do-hyun finishes. Which is exactly why you shouldn't go alone. Amari stares at him. This stranger who's been sitting in silence for 3 days. This man who orders coffee he doesn't drink just to have permission to exist somewhere. Why do you care? She asks. His eyes go distant. Dark. Haunted by something that happened before they met. Because once, he says slowly, I didn't help someone who needed it. And I've been carrying that weight ever since. Before she can respond, her manager calls her name. Break's over. Tables need service. Amari stands, but Do-hyun's voice stops her. 8 p.m. Where? She shouldn't tell him, shouldn't trust a stranger, shouldn't drag someone else into her mess. But she does anyway. Apartment 304, green building on Noksapyeong-dairo, the one with the broken streetlight. Do-hyun nods once, and for the first time in 3 years of living in Seoul, 3 years of being alone, foreign, invisible, Amari feels like someone might actually show up when she needs them. She doesn't know yet that Do-hyun is about to become the monster he swore he'd buried. She doesn't know that tonight will change everything. She just knows that when she gave him her address, something shifted in his eyes, like he'd just made a decision that couldn't be unmade. Do-hyun sits in his warehouse apartment after leaving the cafe. The room is small. Bare walls, mattress on the floor, one window overlooking an alley where stray cats fight over garbage. He doesn't turn on the lights. The darkness is easier. It matches what's inside him. His phone sits on the floor, screen dark. No contacts except his boss at the warehouse. No social media. No digital footprint. 3 years of being no one. Going nowhere. Doing nothing that matters. Safe. Invisible. Until today, when he promised to show up at a stranger's apartment because she reminded him of someone he failed to save. Do-hyun closes his eyes, but the memory finds him anyway. It always does. He's 17 again, standing in a Busan alley that smells like piss and rotting fish, his father's hand heavy on his shoulder. The boy owes money, his father says. Collect it. The teenager on his knees can't be older than 15. Skinny, shaking, school uniform torn at the collar. Please, the kid begs. My mom's sick. I needed money for medicine. I'll pay it back. I swear. Do-hyun's father laughs. Everyone swears. No one pays. He hands Do-hyun the metal pipe. Show him what happens to thieves. Do-hyun's hands shake. He's done collections before. Broken fingers, cracked ribs, the kind of violence that teaches lessons without causing permanent damage. But his father's eyes are watching. Testing. Waiting to see if his son has the stomach for the family business. Do it, his father says. Or you're next. The pipe is cold in Do-hyun's hands. The boy looks up at him with eyes that say, please. Do-hyun swings. The sound is wet. Wrong. The boy's scream cuts through the alley like a siren, once, twice, 3 times, until the screaming stops, until his father smiles and pats his shoulder. Good boy. Do-hyun stands over the broken teenager, the pipe dripping red onto concrete, and something inside him dies. That night, he leaves Busan, changes his name, burns his ID, becomes someone new. But the screams follow him. They always follow. Now, sitting in his warehouse apartment 3 years later, Do-hyun opens his eyes. His hands are shaking again, just like they did in that alley. He never found out if the boy survived. Never went back to check. Just ran like a coward and pretended the past would stay buried if he stayed quiet enough. But the past doesn't stay buried. It just waits for you to care about something again. And now he cares about a black waitress in Itaewon who's being hunted by a predator, and the only way to help her is to become the thing he's spent 3 years running from. Do-hyun stands, walks to his closet, pulls out a black duffel bag he hasn't opened since he moved to Seoul. Inside, the clothes he wore in Busan, the steel-toed boots, the leather gloves, the tools of violence he swore he'd never touch again. He stares at them for a long time. Then he checks the time. 6:47 p.m. 1 hour and 13 minutes until Amari faces her landlord alone. Do-hyun picks up the gloves. The leather is stiff from disuse. He flexes his fingers, testing the fit. They still feel like a second skin. He grabs his coat and walks out of the apartment. Outside, Seoul pulses with evening traffic. Neon signs flicker. Couples laugh on their way to dinner. The city moves like nothing's wrong, like violence isn't about to happen in a green building with a broken streetlight. Do-hyun walks toward Noksa Pyeongdaero. His hands don't shake anymore. They're steady, ready. And somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice whispers that this is exactly how it started, last time, with good intentions and a stranger who needed help. But this time will be different. This time he won't run, even if it means becoming the monster Seoul remembers. Park Minjai arrives at Amari's building at 7:53 p.m., 7 minutes early. He likes being early. It shows control, authority. The kind of power that comes from knowing someone's waiting, anxious, dreading the sound of footsteps in the hallway. He climbs the stairs slowly. No rush. Let her hear him coming. The third-floor hallway smells like kimchi and mildew. Fluorescent lights flicker overhead, buzzing like dying insects. Someone's TV blares a variety show through thin walls. Minjai stops outside apartment 304. Knocks 3 times. Loud. The door opens a crack. Amari's face appears, eyes guarded, body angled to block his view inside. "You're early," she says. "I'm punctual." He smiles. "Can I come in? We can talk here." "In the hallway?" Minjai laughs. "That's rude, Amari. I'm your landlord. Show some respect." He pushes the door. Not hard, just enough. Amari steps back instinctively, and Minjai takes it as permission. He walks inside, closing the door behind him with a soft click that sounds too loud in the small space. The apartment is tiny. 1 room. Kitchenette in the corner, futon on the floor, clothes folded in neat stacks because there's no closet. The window overlooks the alley where the broken streetlight casts everything in shadow. Minjai scans the room like he's cataloging assets. "Cozy," he says. "Worth the rent, don't you think?" "I'll have the money tomorrow. Amari says, staying near the door. I just need one more day. Tomorrow. Minjai walks to the window, his back to her. You said that last week, and the week before. My shifts got cut. I don't care about your shifts. He turns to face her. I care about my money, and you're 300,001 short. Amari's hands clench at her sides. I know, I'll get it. How? The question hangs in the air, like smoke. Minjai takes a step closer, then another. The room shrinks with each footfall. You're a smart woman, he says quietly. Beautiful too. It's a shame you're struggling so much when the solution is right in front of you. Amari's back hits the door. What solution? Minjai smiles. I could forget the rent, all of it, wipe it clean. In exchange for what? He reaches out. His fingers brush her wrist, soft, testing, seeing how far he can go before she pulls away. Company? He says. Companionship. The kind of flexible arrangement that benefits both of us. Amari jerks her arm back. Don't touch me. Careful. Minjai's smile disappears. You're in no position to make demands. Your visa expires in 3 weeks. You have no job, no sponsor, no options. He steps closer, trapping her against the door. I'm offering you a lifeline, he says. Most women in your situation would be grateful. Amari's heart hammers against her ribs. The room is too small. The air is too thick. His cologne burns her nose. Expensive, overwhelming, designed to dominate space. Get out, she whispers. Or what? Minjai leans in, his breath hot against her ear. You'll call the police? Tell them what? That your landlord asked for rent? His hand moves to her hair, fingers tangling in her braids. Think about it, he says softly. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. And you'll have a choice to make. He pulls away, slowly, deliberately, making sure she feels every second of his proximity. Then he opens the door and steps into the hallway. Sweet dreams, Amari. The door closes. Amari stands frozen, her body shaking, her mind racing. Tomorrow. He's coming back tomorrow, and she has no idea how to stop him. Rain hammers Seoul at 11:47 p.m. Amari locks the cafe's back door, her hands numb from scrubbing dishes for 3 hours straight. Her manager gave her the closing shift at the last minute. Someone called in sick and she needed the extra money anyway. Rent, visa, survival. The holy trinity of her existence. She pulls her hood up and steps into the alley behind the building. Rain soaks through her shoes immediately. The broken streetlight leaves everything in shadow. Dumpsters, fire escapes, the narrow pathway that leads to the main road. She's halfway through when she hears footsteps. Amari stops. The footsteps stop. She starts walking again, faster. The footsteps match her pace. Her heart kicks into overdrive. She reaches for her phone, but her hands are shaking too hard to unlock it. Amari. The voice comes from behind her. She spins around. Park Minjai steps out of the shadows, rain dripping from his hair, his jacket soaked through. He's been waiting. Watching. You left early tonight, he says. Didn't give me a chance to finish our conversation. There's nothing to talk about. Amari backs away, her shoulder blades hitting the brick wall. I'll have your money. Just leave me alone. Minjai laughs. You really think ignoring me solves problems? He closes the distance between them in 3 strides. His hand shoots out, grabbing her arm, hard. Let go! Amari tries to pull away, but his grip tightens, fingers digging into flesh. You've been playing games, Minjai says, his face inches from hers. Acting like you have choices, but you don't. You're alone here, foreign, disposable. No one cares what happens to you. He jerks her forward, making her stumble. No one's coming to save you. Footsteps echo from the alley entrance, heavy, deliberate, getting closer. Minjai's head snaps toward the sound. A figure emerges from the rain. Do-hyun. He's soaked through, water streaming from his cap, his coat plastered to his frame. But his eyes are dead calm, the kind of calm that comes right before violence. "Release her," he says quietly. Minjai's grip loosens slightly, surprise flickering across his face. "And who the hell are you?" "Someone who doesn't tolerate predators." Minjai laughs, pushing Amari aside. She stumbles against the wall, gasping. "Big talk from a cafe nobody," Minjai says, squaring up. "You want to play hero? Go ahead. Try." He swings. Do-hyun moves. Not fast, not flashy, just efficient. He sidesteps the punch, catches Minjai's wrist mid-swing, and twists. The sound is sharp, bone grinding against bone. Minjai screams. Do-hyun forces him down, one knee hitting the wet concrete, rain mixing with the sound of agony echoing through the alley. "Touch her again," Do-hyun says, his voice barely above a whisper. "And you won't walk away." Minjai's face contorts with pain, rage, humiliation. "You have no idea who you're messing with." "Neither do you." Do-hyun releases him with a shove. Minjai scrambles backward, cradling his wrist, his eyes burning with fury. "This isn't over," he spits. "You just made the worst mistake of your life." He staggers to his feet and disappears into the rain, his threats echoing off brick walls. Silence fills the alley. Just rain. Just breathing. Do-hyun turns to Amari. "Are you hurt?" She shakes her head, unable to speak. Her arm throbs where Minjai grabbed her, but that's not what has her frozen. It's the way Do-hyun moved. Clinical. Controlled. Like violence is a language he speaks fluently. "Who are you?" she whispers. Do-hyun's jaw tightens. "Someone who's made too many mistakes to let another one happen." He walks her home through the rain. Neither speaks. The silence is heavy with unasked questions, unspoken truths, and the terrible certainty that everything just changed. When they reach her building, Amari stops. "Thank you," she says. "Don't thank me yet." Do-hyun's eyes are dark, haunted. He'll come back, angrier, more dangerous. What do I do? Stay away from dark places. Keep your phone charged. Don't go anywhere alone. For how long? Do-hyun doesn't answer, because they both know the truth. For as long as Park Minjai wants revenge, which, based on the look in his eyes, means this is just beginning. Amari watches. Do-hyun disappear into the rain, and a terrible thought settles in her chest. She just traded one kind of danger for another, and she has no idea which one will destroy her first. Do-hyun walks Amari to her door and stops. Rain drips from both of them, pooling on the hallway floor. The fluorescent light flickers overhead, buzzing like a dying insect. "Thank you," Amari says quietly. "For tonight. Don't thank me." Do-hyun cuts her off. "I made things worse. You saved me. I bought you time. That's different." His jaw tightens. Men like him don't forget. They escalate. Amari's hand shakes as she unlocks her door. She should go inside, lock it, put distance between herself and this stranger who moves like violence is muscle memory. Instead, she asks, "Do you want tea?" Do-hyun's eyes widen slightly. "You don't know me. I know you showed up when I needed someone. That's more than anyone else has done in 3 years." Silence stretches. Then Do-hyun nods once. Inside, Amari's apartment looks smaller with another person in it. She fills the electric kettle, her movements automatic, needing something to do with her hands. "Sit," she says, gesturing to the futon. Do-hyun sits on the edge, still tense, still ready to run. He hasn't taken off his wet jacket. The kettle boils. Amari pours 2 cups of green tea, the steam rising between them as she hands him one. Why did you really come tonight? She asks, sitting across from him on the floor. I told you, I didn't help someone once. I won't make that mistake again. What happened to them? Do-hyun's hands tighten around the cup. I don't know. I ran before I could find out. You were scared. I was a coward. Amari studies his face. The tension in his jaw, the way his eyes won't quite meet hers. The guilt carved into every line. My father died 3 years ago, she says quietly. Stroke. Dropped dead in the middle of changing someone's oil. His boss called me at 2 a.m., said he was already gone by the time the ambulance arrived. Do-hyun looks up. He worked himself to death, Amari continues. 70-hour weeks. No health insurance. Kept saying he'd rest when he could afford to. Her voice cracks. He never got the chance. I'm sorry. Me too. She wipes her eyes quickly. I came to Korea because I couldn't stand being in Atlanta anymore. Every street corner reminded me of him. Every mechanic shop. She stops. I thought running would help. Did it? No, it just moved the grief somewhere else. Do-hyun sets down his tea. I grew up in Busan. Bad neighborhood. Worse family. My father ran a loan operation. Violence was the business model. Amari's breath catches, but she doesn't interrupt. He made me collect debts, break bones, teach lessons. Do-hyun's voice goes flat. I was good at it. Too good. People started calling me Seoul's quiet enforcer. Why Seoul? You said Busan. I moved, changed my name, tried to become someone new. His hands shake slightly. But you can't outrun what you are. What are you? Do-hyun meets her eyes finally. Dangerous, he says. To everyone around me. Amari should be scared, should ask him to leave, should put distance between herself and a man who just admitted to breaking people for money. Instead, she reaches across the space between them and places her hand over his. Thank you for being dangerous tonight, she whispers. When I needed it. Do-hyun stares at their hands like he's forgotten what gentle touch feels like. For the first time in 3 years, he doesn't pull away. And for the first time in 3 years, Amari doesn't feel completely alone. Outside, the rain continues. But inside this tiny apartment, something shifts. Something real, something terrifying. Because now they both have something to lose. Park Minjai sits in his apartment at 2:17 a.m., his wrist wrapped in ice, fury burning hotter than the pain. His phone glows on the table. He's been digging for 3 hours, and what he found makes him smile despite the throbbing in his bones. The cafe worker isn't nobody. He's someone Seoul tried very hard to forget. Minjai scrolls through old news articles, forum posts, archived police reports that should have been buried. His contact at the station owes him favors. Those favors just paid off. Kang Do-hyun, real name, Kang Ji-woo, age 25, last known address, Busan, 3 years ago. Occupation, enforcer for the Kang loan operation, known for quiet efficiency, no witnesses, no evidence, just results. Disappeared after an incident involving a teenage debtor who ended up in critical care. Minjai reads the medical report. Fractured skull, broken ribs, collapsed lung. The kid survived barely, but the incident triggered a police investigation that never found the perpetrator. Because Kang Ji-woo vanished that night, became Kang Do-hyun, started over as a warehouse worker in Seoul, thought he could hide. Minjai's smile widens. He opens a new browser window and starts typing. Forums where the wrong kind of people gather. Places where information flows like currency. He posts the photo from the cafe's security camera. Do-hyun's face. Clear. Unmistakable. Anyone recognize this guy? Used to work collections in Busan. Disappeared 3 years ago, now in Seoul, Itaewon area, offering 500,000 won for current location and employment details. He hits post. Within minutes, responses flood in. That's Kang's kid. Thought he was dead. I heard he went soft, ran after a job went bad. 500K? I know where he works. DM me. Minjai's phone buzzes with direct messages. People eager to sell information, addresses, schedules, weaknesses. He pays 3 different sources, cross-referencing their information until he has a complete picture. Do-hyun works at a warehouse in Seongsu-dong. Night shift, lives alone in a studio apartment. No friends, no family. No one who'd notice if he disappeared. Perfect. But Minjai isn't interested in making Do-hyun disappear. He's interested in making him suffer. The way Minjai suffered tonight, humiliated in an alley, his wrist broken, his authority shattered by some cafe, nobody who thinks he can play hero. Minjai opens another contact, a number he hasn't used in years. Someone who specializes in problems that need permanent solutions. I need surveillance on 2 people. Photos attached. I want to know everywhere they go, everyone they talk to, every moment they're vulnerable. And I want it yesterday. The response comes fast. Price. Name it. 2,000,001. Half up front. Minjai transfers the money without hesitation. Revenge isn't cheap. But watching Do-hyun lose everything, his fake identity, his quiet life, his precious little waitress, will be worth every one. He saves all the information he's gathered into a folder labeled insurance. Then he opens a bottle of soju and drinks until the pain in his wrist fades to background noise. Tomorrow he'll start applying pressure. Not directly. That's amateur. He'll use Do-hyun's past against him, leak information to the right people. Make sure everyone in Itaewon knows exactly who's been hiding among them. Make the warehouse fire him for undisclosed criminal history. Make immigration investigate Amari's visa status. Make their lives collapse slowly, publicly, painfully. And when they're desperate and broken, when they have nothing left to lose, that's when Minjai will make his final move. He'll offer Amari the same deal, but this time she won't have a hero to save her, because Do-hyun will be too busy running from his own demons to notice hers. Minjai raises his glass to the security camera photo on his screen. You broke my wrist, he says to Do-hyun's frozen image. I'm going to break your entire world. He drinks. And somewhere in Seoul, in a tiny apartment in Itaewon, Do-hyun and Amari fall asleep believing they're safe. They're wrong. The hunt has already begun. And this time, there's no alley to hide in. Amari's phone buzzes at 9:23 a.m., unknown number. She almost deletes it. Then she sees the message. Your rent account has been credited 300,000 won. Balance cleared. Please come to the office to sign the updated agreement. Today, by 3 p.m. Property management. Amari reads it 3 times. Her hands start shaking. Relief floods through her so fast it makes her dizzy. The rent. Gone. Cleared. She can breathe. She can stay. Her visa is safe. She texts Do-hyun immediately. My rent was cleared. I don't know how, but it's gone. Everything's okay. His response comes fast. Don't go. Something's wrong. It's from property management. Official number. I checked. Amari, don't. But she's already getting dressed, because hope is louder than logic when you've been drowning for 3 years. The property management office sits 3 blocks from her apartment. She's been there twice before, once to sign the lease, once when Minjai raised her rent without warning. The building looks normal. Glass doors. Small. Lobby. Directory on the wall. She takes the elevator to the 3rd floor. The hallway is empty. Too empty. Amari's instincts scream at her to leave, but she's already here. Already hoping. Already believing the nightmare might actually be over. She reaches office 304. The door is unlocked. She pushes it open. The room is dark. Blinds drawn. No receptionist. No property manager. Just Minjai, sitting behind the desk, smiling. You came, he says. I wasn't sure you would. Amari's stomach drops. She spins toward the door. It slams shut. A man she's never seen steps out from behind it. Large, tattooed, blocking the exit. Sit down, Amari. Minjai says calmly. We have business to discuss. You sent the message. Her voice comes out small, broken. There's no rent clearance. Oh, there is. I paid it myself this morning. He stands, walking around the desk. Consider it a gesture of good faith. I don't understand. I'm willing to forget everything. Your late payments, your attitude, even your little bodyguard breaking my wrist. He holds up his bandaged arm. All of it. Gone. Why? Because I'm a reasonable man. Minjai stops 3 feet away. And reasonable men make deals. Amari's back hits the wall. What kind of deal? The same one I offered before. Companionship, flexibility, a mutually beneficial arrangement. His voice drops. But now the terms have changed. I said no. That was before I paid your rent, before I made your visa problems disappear, before I invested in your future. He steps closer. You owe me now, Amari, and I always collect my debts. Her phone is in her pocket. She reaches for it. The large man moves fast, grabbing her wrist. The phone clatters to the floor. No calls, Minjai says. No interruptions. Just you and me working out the details. Amari's heart hammers against her ribs. The room feels like it's shrinking. No windows. One door. One man blocking it. Do-hyun will come, she says. Minjai laughs. Do-hyun? You mean Kang Ji-woo, the enforcer from Busan, the one who put a 15-year-old boy in critical care 3 years ago? Amari's breath stops. Oh, you didn't know? Minjai's smile widens. Your hero has quite the past. Seoul's quiet enforcer. Disappeared after nearly killing a kid over a debt. Changed his name. Thought he could start over. He leans in close. He's a monster, Amari. And monsters don't save people. They destroy them. Tears burn her eyes, but she won't let them fall. He's not coming, Minjai whispers. Because I made sure he's too busy dealing with his own problems. Immigration, police, his warehouse job. All of it crumbling as we speak. He grabs her chin, forcing her to look at him. You're alone. Finally. Completely. The door handle rattles. Minjai's smile falters. The rattling stops. Silenced. Then, the door explodes inward. Wood splinters. The lock shatters. Do-hyun stands in the doorway, soaked from rain, breathing hard, eyes dead. Let her go, he says. Quietly, Minjai laughs. Or what? You'll become the monster again? Do-hyun steps into the room. I never stopped being one. Minjai's hand moves inside his jacket. Metal glints. A gun. Amari screams. Do-hyun sees the gun before Minjai fully draws it. Time slows. He's 17 again, standing in that Busan alley, pipe in his hands, a choice that changed everything. But this time, the choice is already made. He moves, not toward Minjai, toward Amari. His body becomes a shield as the gun rises. He grabs her, pulling her down as Minjai's finger finds the trigger. The shot is deafening in the enclosed space. Plaster explodes from the wall where Amari's head was a second ago. Do-hyun shoves her toward the corner. Stay down! The large man lunges. Do-hyun pivots, catching the attack with muscle memory 3 years old but never forgotten. He drives his elbow into the man's throat, follows with a knee to the solar plexus. The man drops, gasping. Minjai fires again. The bullet tears. Through Do-hyun's jacket, missing flesh by centimeters. He feels the heat, the air displacement, the proximity to death. You think you're a hero? Minjai screams, his hand shaking. You're a criminal. A monster. I have your whole history. One call and you're finished. Do-hyun doesn't respond. He crosses the distance between them in 3 strides. Minjai fires wildly. The bullet goes wide, shattering the window behind them. Do-hyun's hand closes around the gun, twisting Minjai's wrist, the same wrist he broke 2 nights ago. The scream is immediate. agonized. The gun falls. Do-hyun kicks it away. Then he does what he swore he'd never do again. He lets the monster out. His fist connects with Minjai's jaw, bone on bone. The crack echoes. Minjai staggers back, blood spraying from his mouth. "You wanted the enforcer?" Do-hyun's voice is dead calm. "Here he is." He hits him again. Ribs, stomach. Precise strikes designed to cause maximum pain without killing, because killing would be mercy. And Minjai doesn't deserve mercy. "Stop." Amari's voice cuts through the violence. "Do-hyun, stop!" He freezes, fist drawn back for another strike. Minjai crumples to the floor, coughing blood, whimpering. Do-hyun looks at his hands. They're shaking now, covered in someone else's blood, just like Busan, just like he swore would never happen again. "We need to leave," Amari says, grabbing his arm. "Now! Before someone calls the police." Do-hyun's brain struggles to process through the adrenaline haze. She's right. The gunshots. The violence. Someone heard. Someone's calling. He grabs her hand and runs. They burst out of the building into pouring rain. Seoul blurs around them. Neon signs, traffic, people with umbrellas who don't notice two people running for their lives. Do-hyun pulls Amari into an alley 3 blocks away. They collapse against the wall, both gasping. "Your jacket," Amari says, touching the bullet hole. "He almost—" "I know. You saved me." "I almost killed him. But you didn't." Do-hyun looks at her. Rain streams down both their faces. "Everything he said was true. I put a kid in the hospital. I was an enforcer. I hurt people for money. I don't care. You should." "Why?" Amari's eyes burn into his. "Because you made mistakes? Because you have a past? So do I. So does everyone. Mine is different. You showed up when I needed you. Twice. That's what matters." Sirens wail in the distance, getting closer. Do-hyun's phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. "Police are looking for Kong Ji-woo. Assault. Illegal firearm discharge. Warrant being issued. Run." He shows Amari the message. Her face goes pale. "What do we do?" "We." Do-hyun shakes his head. "There's no we. You go home. Pretend you were never there. I'll disappear. Change cities. Start over again." "No." "Amari," I said no. She grabs his jacket. "You don't get to save me and then abandon me. That's not how this works. I'm a wanted criminal. Then we run together." Do-hyun stares at her. This woman he met 5 days ago. This stranger who somehow became the first person in 3 years to make him feel human. The sirens are 2 blocks away now. "If we do this," he says slowly, "there's no going back. Your visa. Your life here. Everything ends." Amari's jaw sets, determined, terrified, certain. "Then let it end," she says. "As long as it ends with me breathing." Do-hyun makes the choice. He grabs her hand, and they run. Into the rain, into the night, into an uncertain future where the past is hunting them and the only thing they have is each other. Behind them, police cars screech to a stop outside the building. Ahead, nothing but storm and darkness. Do-hyun doesn't know where they're going. He just knows they're going together. And for the first time since that alley in Busan, he's not running from something. He's running toward it. Whatever that means. Whatever it costs.